Serious story here. 2 of the 4 Americans that were kidnapped at gunpoint in Mexico are dead. The other 2 victims are back here in the United States after a dramatic rescue near the border.
Mexican authorities apparently tracked down the victims in a shed, that red building right there, and arrested the guy who is standing at the door. Griff Jenkins is live in Washington with the very latest. And so, Griff, they're trying to figure out, was this a cartel operation? Did this 24-year-old, was he just left holding the bag? Who else is involved?
Yeah, good morning, Steve, Ainsley, and Brian. We're learning more answers. Mexican authorities now say that the Americans were held and even tortured in that red wooden shack, and the man you see guarding it has been arrested, and he is charged in the horrific kidnapping. Now, he is a 24-year-old Mexican national, identified as Jose Guadalupe. You see here in that small red shack where the victims were held is in a rural part of eastern Mexico, where officials believe the Americans likely got lost and were mistaken by the cartel for Haitians that were acting as rogue drug mules. Now, we're also learning that Shaid Woodard and Zindell Brown, you see here, were already dead by the time authorities got there, while Latavia McGee and Eric James Williams survived the kidnapping and are back in the U.S., with Williams suffering a gunshot wound to the leg. McGee's mother giving this update, saying, quote, "She's doing okay. She was crying. She watched 2 of them die. They died in front of her." Now, this photo from the scene shows McGee in the back of a Mexican ambulance after she was rescued. She and Williams were then transported back to the U.S. border and then taken to a Texas hospital once in the U.S. Now, it comes after the kidnapping, which we must warn you if you haven't seen it, it is disturbing. It was caught on camera, showing the moment when the victims were dragged into the back of a pickup truck. The cartel suspects holding long guns and wearing bulletproof vests. Now, this senseless violence is now taking center stage at the White House as our own Peter Doocy pressed for answers. Watch.
Cartels kill Americans on this side of the border with drugs, and now they're killing Americans on the other side of the border with guns. Why is President Biden so comfortable with cartels operating so close to the U.S.?
We are seizing fentanyl at record historic levels because of what the president has done to secure our border.
But to the violence aspect of it, now Americans are being slaughtered. Would President Biden be taking the same approach if it was Al-Qaeda or ISIS operating just across the border from an American city?
The president takes this very seriously. He takes this very seriously. The FBI and other agencies have been on top of this.
And the State Department takes the violence very seriously, reiterating that it has listed 6 Mexican states, including Tamaulipas, where this happened, as do not travel alert. It's the strongest advisory the State Department can issue for places in Mexico. Steve, Ainsley, Brian?
All right. Thank you so much, Griff. Yeah, we think about spring break. It's right around the corner. A lot of people going to Mexico. If you're one of those, our government is just saying be very careful. Avoid the areas where you'll see the cartel hotspots. There's information online. They have listed cities of where you should not go. But travel agents are reporting. Yeah, exactly. Travel agents are reporting a post-pandemic boom, though. They say bookings are similar now to pre-2020 numbers when it comes to booking vacations in Mexico.
Yeah, to me, it blows me away that there's not more of a firm reaction from the White House, from the State Department. There's not a joint statement from Mexican and U.S. authorities. We're not seeing it at all, and there's so many questions. Clearly, experts say, the law enforcement reveals in the Dallas Morning News that they believe it was mistaken identity, that they thought the kidnappers may have mistaken the foursome for Haitian smugglers. Right. The quartet disappeared 5 days ago, as you know, but once they found them, if you make a mistake, you don't keep the survivors in a shed and watch the other 2 die in front of you. So I got problems with the mistaken identity thing, because Carolina plates in a white minivan, not usually the way cartels roll or Haitian drug mules roll, Steve.
Well, here's the thing, Brian. Apparently nobody saw the plates for a while because the Mexican authorities apparently did not see this with their own two eyes. They read about it online, and then they went and investigated, and they realized that there were American plates on that white minivan. The story is that perhaps one of these, like the Gulf cartel, which operates in that area, thought that those were Haitian smugglers in a similar van. Next thing you know, two of those people are dead. The Mexicans actually used surveillance cameras in the area to figure out the number of cartel vehicles involved in the attack. And here's ultimately what it comes down to. Because there is right now so much emphasis on trying to figure out what had happened to those 4 Americans in the minivan, what do the Mexicans do? Suddenly, out of nowhere, they found the one guy. You know that there's a whole bunch of people involved, but they got the one guy. Because now that they've got the Americans and they will be coming back after they recuperate out of that Brownsville hospital, then nobody's going to be talking about the story. And the cartel is in the clear. Nonetheless, Ainsley, you brought this up a little while ago about how there are a lot of people who are traveling to Mexico for spring break and other purposes. Here's what Chris Olivares said earlier on Fox and Friends about whether or not you're thinking about doing it. Essentially, don't.
One thing that we're telling, of course, anybody that's wanting to travel to Mexico is to try to refrain from traveling to Mexico right now. It's too dangerous. There's too much crime as far as with the cartels that are operating in Mexico, especially about the Moros. You have the Gulf cartel, which controls that entire area. But within the Gulf cartel, you have smaller groups of enforcement groups that pretty much carry out attacks. They'll do kidnappings, pretty much doing all the dirty work for the cartels. And within those groups, you have several of those groups that are fighting with each other. So because of that, the violence has increased in that particular area. And when we talk about the Haitians, one thing to keep in mind, too, is that there's thousands of Haitians right now. They've been to Mexico. They settled in Mexico. And right now, those cartel groups are recruiting Haitians for organized crime. And because of that, these individuals that actually traveled into Matamoros were mistaken for Haitians, and they were chased down and gunned down by these rival cartel members.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.